Hi guys, here we are on the 5th hole at People's Golf Club, and what I'm going to talk about is 3 other scoring elements of golf, and that's 3 different faults related to grip. So if you struggle with an uncomfortable position with your hands in relation to the club head, if you push the ball, if you pull the ball, if you do any of those things, then if you predominantly slice the ball, then there's a good chance you've got quite a weak grip, and if you hook the ball, there's a good chance that you've got quite a strong grip. But I'm going to talk about 2 grips that are related to the top hand and 1 grip that's related to the bottom hand. So grip 1 is grip 1 is probably one of the most commonly used grips in golf. People who lack power, lack distance and consistency. So what I'm talking about, the first grip is related to the top hand, so the left hand if you're right-handed and the right hand if you're left-handed. So what I mean by that is, if I come close to the camera, so it's a grip that lacks kind of power, it lacks any release, it restricts the wrist mobility. So what I mean by that is, players almost get the club going too high in the palm. So too high in the palm, what that does is, from this angle, it pushes the left thumb more to the left hand side of the grip, which is known, we'll sort of go into the more advanced stage after this grip. So this is called when the grip's too high in the palm. The next section will cover the weak grip when the club's too far in the palm. So if you look from this angle, if I bring the club slightly up to horizontal, that my fingers point slightly diagonally, so diagonally in line with the grip. So what I'm going to do is, from here, if I put the grip in my palm, from here I find it hard to bring the club up without creating any tension in the hand. So if I bring the club up with a weak grip, then that creates quite a lot of tension. So what we need to do is, when that grip's quite strong, when that grip's quite weak, when we come down into impact, we're not going to create a lot of power. The club face is going to be open to the swing path, and you're not going to be able to fully release the golf club. So if I bring the club up to horizontal, but this time, instead of the grip going through the palm, it needs to go diagonal from forefinger to pinky, so diagonal like that. My hand should fit snugly in. Left thumb closed, V pointing between forefinger and thumb, that should point to almost the right eye, and then I put the right hand on. From here, I'm going to take the right hand off again. So if you notice how, if I come from this angle, if I bring the club up to horizontal, that my fingers point, my thumb's on the grip, my fingers point diagonally. So when I had quite a weak grip, coming around like this, my fingers pointed slightly to the left. So from here, I need to bring the thing through the fingers and see how I can hinge my wrist correctly. So if we're in a weak grip, I can't hinge the wrist correctly. It puts a lot of pressure on the thumb and forefinger to produce any sort of leverage and rotation through impact. So make sure it goes through the fingers, close hand, then you're on the right track. Another thing we'll talk about is when the grip is quite weak. So I mean by a weak grip is when the hands are turned too far. So the first one we talked about was a slight reference to weak grip, but it was slightly weak, but it was through the palm. But this is a reference to a weak grip. So when our grip's weak, we can't see any knuckles on our left hand. So if we look down, so if I look down from this angle, I can't see any knuckles at all on my left hand. So what that does is, a lot of players that have quite a weak grip, they'll chance to slice in the golf ball. So what they'll do is, in order to square the club face up, so if I have quite a weak grip, then my hands are going to return back to the position that they were in at address. So if I come back down, so if I go further away from the camera, if I come back down, then my hands are in a neutral position there on the club, but the club face is too far to the right. So what we need to get into a habit of doing is, players that have quite a weak grip, when they come into impact, they're going to try everything to stop the club face, stop the ball going right. So what they'll do is they'll release it early, so they'll create lack of power, they'll cast that early, they'll lose all that lag, they'll lose their angles that they create on top of the backswing. So from here, they'll almost weak grip, they'll create no power, because this part of the hand, when the grip goes through the palm, there's no feel. If you struggle with feel, then there's a good chance you've got a weak grip, and we need to get it through the fingers. So that's in the lifeline of almost the left hand. That'll create the desired power, desired strike and consistency that we want. So if it's in the palm, from here, the club face pointing left, so pointing right, sorry. So I'm subconsciously thinking that the more I swing left, the more the ball will start to the left and curve left or right. So if I swing on a neutral swing path, or say 0, then the club face is going to be slightly open to the path and the ball's going to leak way to, or massively to the right. Like, they might have a chance of having a heel strike as well. So what we need to get into the habit of doing is try and get it more through the fingers. So if it's more through the fingers, so 3 pressure points, put that diagonally through the 3 pressure points, and what I do is take the left forefinger off and then put the thumb on first, then left forefinger underneath. So it's a secure lay-in, okay? So 2 things we talked about there. Another thing we want to talk about is the strong grip. So the strong grip is probably, it's good for junior golfers who have quite small hands, and it helps create a little bit of leverage. But once you sort of move on to a higher level of ability and you start becoming better at the game, then the hook grip, or the strong grip, creates a lot of rotation of the club face through impact. So if I have quite a strong grip, what I mean by that is if I come directly down the line of the camera, my hands are pointing too far to the right hand side of the club. So what that does is, if I'm in a neutral position, so the club face, the leading edge is 90 degrees to the target, so if I come like this, the club face should be square. With a strong grip, the club face turns to the left. So if you struggle with a hook, or a low hook, or lack of height on the golf ball, there's a good chance that you might hit the 3 iron as far as a 2 iron, or the 5 iron as far as a 4 iron, but you're de-lofting it and the ball's going to run a lot more. But if you play on a course that's quite lush and wet during the winter, then you're going to struggle massively. So that's why all these good players like Dustin Johnson create so much distance with a strong grip. It's because when they come back into impact, they think they're not knowing that they're going to hook it, so they know they're not going to hook it. So what they do is they use shaft line to get the club in front of them. I done a video of this last week, but anyway, back to the strong grip. So if you've got quite a strong grip, if our hands are turned too far to the right, it's too much in the fingers. So if it's too much in the fingers, it's the opposite from a weak grip. So it's going to increase, it's going to over-release our wrist action, and from here we're going to be fighting the left-hand side of the golf course all day long. So what we need to get into a habit of doing is feel like, so any golfer who has quite a strong grip, what they're going to do is, if I go further away from the camera, if they've got quite a strong grip, they're going to try and get the hands back to square. So if my hands are pointing slightly right past the Mizuno emblem on my club, what they'll do is they'll turn their hands this way. So my clubs went from square in a poor grip position to strong in a good grip position. So what that'll do is that when I come into impact, I'm going to hook the ball severely. So what you need to get into the habit of doing is try and get what we've talked about in the 3 last technical points. So more through the fingers instead of the palm, or a weak grip. So eliminate that weak grip by trying to go slightly stronger. So make sure our thumb's pointing slightly to the right of the grip. And then if we've got quite a strong grip, make sure we weaken that slightly, because that'll sort of impair the rotation of the club face. If you've got a strong grip, stop you hooking the ball. If you've got a weak grip, it'll make the toe turn over the heel more. So if you've got quite a strong grip, you're going to hook it because the toe is turning excessively over the heel, and it's the opposite way if you've got a weak grip. So when you've got a weak grip, the heel's going to delay rotation, and then the toe's going to open the face. So what we need to do is embed that into our game. So I'm going to hit a shot here. So I've got a 4 iron in my hand, so I'm going to try and transfer that into my own game. So here I've got a 4 iron. I'm going to just try and work on everything I've talked about. So I'm not holding it in the palm, where if I bring the club up to horizontal again, I can rotate the club back and forth or side to side. So if I get through the fingers, diagonal, and then put the left hand on, then V should point towards left eye, or right eye, sorry, hand on top, and then make sure the club goes through the fingers. So I'm going to quickly give this a bash. Right, so pretty good strike. Slightly adopted a slightly stronger grip there because I wanted to try and draw the ball. But anyway, I wouldn't try and recommend that for any golfer who struggles with consistency and club face rotation. So remember, if we have a poor grip, that's going to alter the the aim of the club face, so it's important to try and get your grip accurately. So you want to create consistency throughout your game. If you've got any thoughts on the video, let me know, or subscribe to my channel at Allan Golf, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Allan Golf. Thank you.